Welcome to Talking Heads. I'm Andy Shaughnessy for the Printed Circuit Engineering Association. Here with me is Steph Chavez. How you doing, Steph?
Doing well, Andy. How about yourself?
Good to see you. Steph is a big part of PCEA. Steph, why don't you tell what is your role at PCEA?
So, I'm the co-founding chairman of PCA. I'm one of the original founders of the association, as well as our PCA training curriculum. I'm one of the co-authors of it. My role within PCA is, collaborate, educate, and inspire. That's our core mission. And so my role as chairman is to make sure we're evolving the association for what is best for the industry and what is best for the individual engineer collectively. So,
Right. You're pretty involved in the education. Well, speaking of which, I know you're doing a couple of classes this week.
yeah, so, there's a couple things. I just finished teaching 2 semesters or a semester this past semester with Wayne State University as well as the University of Dayton. We fulfilled a full semester's official class of our PCA training that we're licensing and we're integrating there at those schools, as well as what we're doing at PCB West. For the first time, we're going to implement training in parallel, the 40-hour course in parallel with what we're offering there at PCB West. So it's a real collaboration of bringing this leading engineering content for PCB design education for industry best practices.
Right.
It is tool agnostic, so we stay within the purity of designing a board from cradle to grave. And so I'm very excited about that.
The education side just seems to keep growing, doesn't it?
It is. The class is exploded, and it's taken off. And part of the problems we're running into is growing problems, which are good because it's more and more as it's picking up speed and picking up momentum. We are definitely evolving with that curriculum, and the curriculum evolves as technology evolves. So that's why I feel it's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, of what's out there today.
Right. I'm looking forward to PCB West, definitely.
Oh yeah, always.
And so you're teaching today too. What do you?
So
some UHDI stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So today, it's deviated a little bit, went a little deeper, more complex, because in the industry today, things are getting smaller, speeds are getting faster. How do you managing your power distribution networks? So today I talked about Ultra HDI. We talk about blind and buried vias, but what about these? As we're evolving for fine traces and spaces, and what we're doing there with Ultra HDI. That was my first talk yesterday. It went very well received. And then today I did a follow-up of DFM for Ultra HDI, which I was really excited because the lecture before me was a talk on DFM as a whole when you think about just in general. And then I followed it as a complement. Okay, now that we talked at DFM as a whole for printed circuit engineering and standard boards, now what do you do when you go into complex stuff like Ultra HDI? And then how are you designing your widget when you're beyond the envelope and you're designing something with there really no IPC spec? How do you go about it? And the whole essence is collaborate with your suppliers, both fabrication and assembly, right from the get-go. And that's the key. Is that close collaboration. You can't achieve success if you do it blindly and just pitch it over the wall. Because what is it saying? Garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like we're seeing just UHDI in almost everything now. I mean, it was like 5 years ago, you barely heard about it.
Yeah, it's getting real tiny. You really need to know what you're doing. You're getting really sensitive. Things are getting really tiny. And so doing it alone and doing it without simulation, without, analysis, as well as without collaborating with your suppliers is critical. You have to collaborate because you need to know what their capability is, because it does no good to design it on your computer when in reality it can't be built. Or the only people you can go to is overseas, and maybe that just doesn't meet your requirement or your what is available to you. So you got to understand your supplier's capabilities, and the only way to know that is to collaborate early with them as possible.
Right. I mean, especially if you're doing additive and semi-additive.
I mean, usually for the most part, when you get those fine tracer spaces, you're doing additive process. It's getting really tiny. I hear like Anea Vardia and John Johnson from American Standards. They do a lot. They're one of the few that I see them on a regular basis talking about Ultra HDI stuff. They do a lot of good stuff. That's my little shout out to them. But they are really educating the industry on the evolution of what they're doing and how the industry is evolving.
Yeah. And so what else do you do for PCEA? I know you're the you're the chairman.
I'm the chairman. Yeah, I do a lot of like cultivating the next generation engineers,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of mentorship, what we do.
Yeah.
Help talking and guiding. Like I said, I was just, actually before I came to the show, I was at the University of Dayton. I just
Okay.
finished up the semester, and a lot of times I help coach the young engineers that are graduating and help them prepare them for interviews. And
Mhm.
one of the young men that I work with, I sat with him for an hour,
Yeah.
and he had an interview with Caterpillar, and he texted me last night and said he was so excited because he got an offer, and I
Cool.
felt really good because I felt like I really contributed to his success. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
I don't take anything from him because he's amazing and
Right.
unbelievable. But he said a lot of kind words, saying that the preparation I worked with him and
Right.
helping
Right.
him get prepared for the interview was really good. And so we do a lot of stuff like that. It's more than just we're teaching how to design boards. PCA is about collaborate, educate, and inspire
Mhm.
that next generation of engineers. I mean, just look. I mean, we're
Yeah.
packed here. There's a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we doing? And, I feel after all, 35 plus years of designing, give back. How can I give back? How can I make a difference? Not just make a difference, but how can I make a positive difference so someone else can achieve success sooner
Yeah.
and navigate those landmines that you and I, as veterans in the industry, we got our battle scars,
Right. And so we were worried that we weren't seeing enough young designers coming into the industry
Yes.
for a long time. It has picked up some. It's still not quite like we'd like to see,
No,
but you are seeing some new designers.
you're absolutely right. And what you're starting to see is a hybrid of a designer. You have, like, for example, I would consider myself a purist of layout designer or pro circuit engineer, meaning that I can design the layout. If you give me a napkin of a schematic, I will turn that within a month or two. I'll turn it into a CCA, an actual board, bill of materials, everything. I'll give you everything. But today's day and age, you have double E's who have to design the circuits, then fabricate the board, or then do the layout, then fabricate the board, write the code. There's a lot that they have to do. There's a lot of expectations these young engineers have to come up and live up to, as well as you got companies, they want the best return on investment as an employee. So they want someone more than just, one specialty or another.
Right.
They want to be able to cultivate them
Sure,
and
sure.
have a full spectrum, so that way their ample time is billable to a project.
Right. Was there anything else? Anything else you want to mention? Anything?
Well, you know what? I got to give a shout out to my company Siemens. I work for as principal technical product marketing manager, and they allow me the platform to do this and come out and lecture industry best practices, what we're doing, and collaborate what we do here on a global scale. We're at with all the activities what PCA does, whether it's PCB East, PCB West, PCB Detroit, and then all the other little things that we do in between. So it's a lot of activities.
Yeah.
And I mean, you blink your eye, you're gonna miss something. It's,
Right.
Things are evolving and moving so fast. And then, I got to give, we're doing an amazing job with our magazine, our media, social media. It's amazing. I mean, you're a great addition to the team.
I'm glad to be back.
I mean, it's amazing. I'm so glad to have you on the PCA team, and it's good. It's really good. So it's a very bright future, and it's like, it's hard to keep up. Things are moving so fast.
That's good. Well, I'm glad I get to work with you.
Same
Continue to work with you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thanks, Steph.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for stopping by.
Sure. Yep. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Great night.
Once again, this is Andy Shaughnessy for Talking Heads. Thanks for watching.